Welcome to Coaching with Tally. Kicking off today talking about why the most successful leaders don't wear masks. And it might not be the kind of mask that you're thinking of. Not a COVID mask. We're talking about the masks that we wear in life. Masks that we wear to protect ourselves, masks that we wear to help get us what we really most want, that drive us toward what we think is going to give us acceptance and a sense of belonging and significance. Those masks that we hide behind in order to protect ourselves, they end up often causing more damage than they create value for us. And so we're going to talk about stepping into the masterpiece that you actually already are. My name is Tally. I work with leaders. I'm a life and personal development coach, and I work with leaders to create lives of overflowing impact in the world that are centered in a place of joy. Really all about getting you aligned to who it is you most truly are. And that's what we're going to be doing in this series. The other thing I do is get you firing on all cylinders. So we look at every important area of life, very holistic in nature, and then really get you into a place of overflow where you are overflowing those gifts and strengths that are in you because you've designed and created a life that you love living. And now you can overflow that and have a powerful impact in the world. So today, all about talking about kicking off a series, actually, all about living into that masterpiece that you are, getting yourself just really rooted in a place of self-confidence where you don't hold back, where you're not scanning the environment trying to figure out what it is that's needed from you and all of the energy that drains to live in that place, but really get you in a place where you love who you are. You love being with yourself. You have a confidence to step out into things, to take massive imperfect action, and to create a life that you love living, rooted in this place of loving who you are. So if you find yourself holding back sometimes, if you find yourself feeling just that lack of confidence that you really wish that you operated in, if you feel like you're not reaching your full potential, or you care too much about what other people think, if you find yourself fearing that other people are going to feel like you're not as good as they think that you are, that kind of imposter syndrome, a lot of us deal with that, especially high achievers and high performers who get into action around a lot of things and create a lot of stuff, but then often feel like, oh man, like if they could really see what's going on in here, they wouldn't think that I'm as awesome as I look out there. So maybe it comes out more like that. If you struggle with perfectionism, that's another indicator that we could work on this area even more. Feeling like you have to perform in order to be accepted, or just wanting to live in a greater sense of freedom in enjoying who you are. All of those are things that we're going to lean into in the next probably 2 weeks. We're going to be stepping into some real practical, tangible things you can do to increase confidence, to really align. A lot of it is just coming into alignment with who you actually authentically are, and then give you freedom from having to wear these masks. So where we can lose the mask and just live in who we most truly are. So that is the goal, and the power behind that. That's one of the things that I do with a lot of my private clients, is we do this kind of work to get underneath and to really level up that confidence, because so much comes out of that. Like the kinds of things that you'll accomplish in life, being a huge contribution to the world comes out of that, really loving your life. All of those things require that you get connected to who you are, that you love, and get to celebrate who that is. So we're going to be bringing you some really beautiful things this week. So if you answered yes to any one of those things, and I'm going to go through that list one more time as part of our activation today. But if you connected with any of those things, I'm going to go through it one more time, and I want you to pick the one thing that you feel like resonates most out of that list. And often all of us have like some pieces, some piece of all of those, but often there's one or two that really stand out. And I want you to pick that one or two things. So do you find yourself holding back at times? I want you to pick the one that you want, and maybe write it down if you can. Holding back at times, lacking confidence. If you feel like you lack confidence, feeling like you're not just reaching your full potential, like there's this sense of knowing that there's more in you that you're not stepping into, not creating. Even if there's a lot that is going on, a lot of times I work with high achievers, and so a lot of times there's a lot that they're doing, and if somebody from the outside looked at them, they're like, man, he's killing it. But internally, you know what you're capable of, you know what your potential is, and you know you're like at half speed or something. So if you know you have the feeling like you're not living up to your full potential, that's what matters. Caring too much about what other people think. So you just find yourself like keyed into, what is their opinion and what are they needing and wanting from me? A lot of times empaths, people who are really sensitive to where other people are at, they use that gift and that skill to end up, using it to figure out what is needed of them. But then it's exhausting. It's really like a huge energy drainer. So fearing what other people think of you, maybe it's that imposter syndrome where you feel like if people could see what's going on inside of me, they would not think I'm as awesome as they perceive me to be. So maybe it's that one. Getting caught up in perfectionism. So where you want to move forward with something, but you're trying to get it so perfect, you kind of don't get out of the starting blocks, or you find yourself on the sideline more than you want to be. Feeling like you have to perform to be accepted, or just wanting to live in a greater sense of freedom and authenticity, like just being who you are and not caring what other people think. So if any of those resonate, I want you to pick the one that is most true, that you want to see yourself break free from. So write that one down. So let's just do an example. So if you wrote down, I care too much about what other people think. What I want you to do with the statement that you wrote down is I want you to shift it into an affirmation. Because what that's going to do is it's going to set an intention for you, for what you want to walk out of this series with. And so the thing that resonates most to you of that list, and maybe there's another one, maybe there's something like that worded a little bit differently just lands better for you, that's fine. Or pick one of them off of that list, write it down, and then I want you to look at how you can take that thing that you don't like, that you don't want in your life, and shift it into a positive affirmation. So an example would be if you wrote down caring too much about what other people think, you could shift that and make an affirmation that says, I give other people permission to think what they want to think about me. And I recognize that my opinion about me is what matters most. So that's like just a shift. It's almost like the opposite of what it is for you. So however it resonates for you. But if it's I care too much about what other people think, then turn that into an affirmation that is a powerful, a present tense. You're saying it as if it's already true, and it's a positive. So you're rewiring the negative into a positive. So rather than focusing on what you don't want, you shift it to what it is that you do want. So instead of I care too much about what other people think, I give other people permission to think whatever they want to think about me. And I recognize that my opinion of me matters most. Or if you find yourself, let's do another one. If you find yourself holding back at times, like you just find yourself kind of like that on the sidelines, can become, maybe your affirmation statement becomes, I take massive imperfect action. Or you could even have that one for the perfectionism one, like I find myself in perfectionism, and you want to shift that one, like I take massive imperfect action. It could be just as simple as that. So create an affirmation is the goal for today. So take one of the things that you resonate with off of that list and shift it into an affirmative statement or an affirmation. And I want you to put it in many places that you're going to see. So maybe you write down your affirmation, say, I take massive imperfect action, and you put that on like 5 Post-it notes and put it around different places that you're going to see. Maybe you set a notification on your phone or a reminder on your phone to pop up and tell you that message, I don't know, a couple times a day. Maybe put it on your refrigerator, wherever is going to serve you, that it will be in front of you, regularly in front of you. Maybe you write it in your journal. If you're a journaler, maybe you write that like a number of times. If you wrote that for an entire page, it's a really good exercise to see what shows up. Maybe we'll do that on a different day as an activation. So what I want you to do is take the statement that resonates most for you about what you'd love to see shifted in this series. And I want you to write down that like frustration. And then I want you to turn it into an affirmation that you put in a lot of different places, at least 5 places that you're going to see it on a regular basis. And it'll steer you into what you want. It's really powerful. And it'll also set intention for this series. So do that, post it below. I would love to see what it is you guys are coming up with. I'm sure it'll be an inspiration to each other, to other people. And I will be back here again tomorrow at 1. Looking forward to seeing you. Looking forward to the transformation, the really how you're going to up-level your game in terms of knowing and loving who you are and all that that will create in the world. That becomes like the center where you drop a rock, and the ripples that go out from that are massive. So do it for you, do it for other people. Sending you lots of love.